I get it, you're sitting on the couch scrolling through endless options, and the thought of spending a good chunk of money on a portable power station makes you pause. You probably have that friend who keeps asking, what would happen if the power went out while I'm cooking dinner, or if we're out in the woods and the campsite charger dies? That little what-if moment is exactly why I decided to dig into the Dabbsson 3430Wh DBS3500 before I even hit the record button. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest worry people have is whether they're buying a box that looks impressive on paper but falls flat when you actually need it. With the DBS3500, the headline numbers are eye-catching: 3600W of continuous AC power, a 3430Wh battery, and a semi-solid LiFePO cell pack that promises longer life cycles. But those specs only matter if the unit fits into your real-world routine. I spent a couple of evenings reading through the official specs, watching a few YouTube teardown videos, and even scrolling through the handful of reviews on the seller's page to see where the rubber meets the road. Let's start with the kind of scenarios where this thing shines. Imagine a summer thunderstorm that knocks out the grid for 6 hours. A typical fridge cycles on and off, pulling roughly 100-150W when the compressor kicks in. The DBS3500 can comfortably run a fridge, a few LED lights, and even a small electric heater for a night without draining the battery. Because it's a pure sine wave output, you won't hear that annoying buzzing you sometimes get from cheaper inverters, and sensitive electronics like a laptop charger or a CPAP machine run just as smoothly as they would on wall power. Now picture a weekend camping trip where you're not just boiling water on a stove but also trying to keep a portable fridge stocked with fresh food, a small 200W inverter air conditioner for a hot night, and a couple of smartphones and a laptop charging at the same time. The DBS3500's 3600W peak rating is more than enough to handle the startup surge of that tiny AC unit, while the 3430Wh capacity gives you roughly 10 to 12 hours of continuous use before you need to recharge. That's a game changer if you're used to lugging around multiple smaller power banks that never quite keep the lights on. One of the hidden strengths is the battery chemistry. The semi-solid LiFePO cells are a step up from the standard lithium-ion packs you see in most portable generators. They're less prone to thermal runaway, they tolerate deeper discharge cycles, and they're rated for up to 2,000 charge-discharge cycles. In plain English, that means you're looking at a unit that could last a decade of occasional use without the capacity dropping dramatically. The built-in battery management system, BMS, keeps tabs on voltage, temperature, and current flow, shutting down the output if anything looks out of range. That safety net is something you rarely see in the lower-priced competitors. Fast charging is another area where the DBS3500 tries to stand out. There are 5 ways to put energy back into the pack: a regular AC wall outlet, a 12V car socket, a 24V input, a 60W USB-C PD port, and a solar panel connection. If you pair it with a decent 400W solar array, you can refill most of the battery in under 3 hours of good sunlight. In practice, though, you need to own or buy a compatible solar panel. The unit doesn't ship with one. That's a cost you have to factor in if you were hoping for an all-in-one solution. On the flip side, the DBS3500 is not a featherweight. With the 3430Wh pack and its robust housing, the whole thing tips the scales at around 70 pounds. The dual ergonomic handles help you carry it from the garage to the truck, but it's still a piece of equipment that most people won't want to hoist upstairs or load into a small sedan. If you're a solo camper who's used to backpacking gear that fits in a duffel bag, this isn't the unit you'll be thrilled to carry. The size also means you'll need a decent storage space at home. It's not something you can tuck away in a closet next to your winter coats. Pricing is another practical consideration. The DBS3500 sits in the upper mid-tier of portable generators, reflecting the LiFePO tech and the high wattage rating. For someone who only needs to power a phone and a small LED lamp, it's overkill. You'll find cheaper 500WH units that can handle those tiny loads just fine. The value proposition really shines when you need that extra headroom for hydro appliances or when you anticipate multiple power outage events over the course of a year. Think of it as an investment in peace of mind rather than a gadget you'll use once a year. Who should definitely consider buying this? Homeowners in areas with frequent storms or unreliable grids, serious RV owners who want to stay off the campground's electrical